Today's reading is Psalm 136. As you read this psalm, it will only take you a moment to realise that the second half of each verse is identical. It's a refrain, "For his mercy endures forever." Very quickly, there is a temptation, if you're saying it aloud, to omit that line. It seems tedious, and even it seems to interrupt the story of the psalm. I wonder how they used to perform this psalm in ancient Israel. Maybe it was choral with two parts. It's a bit like our choral tradition, but with Canon deck, the two sides of the choir, alternating lines instead of verses, as we do. Repetition can be powerful and effective. Think of Taizé songs, where there's often a repeated line with different melodies coming over the top. So why is it there, that refrain? It's important. Some ancient poet or songwriter put it there for good reason. What strikes me is that as the story unfolds, every stage is greeted with the same response. Every event is presented as an example of God's mercy. The story in this psalm covers creation, then salvation, the Exodus from Egypt, then the gift and promise of the land being fulfilled. So it's a positive story, at least from the Israelite perspective. But how would it be if we added in other details? Defeat in battle, exile, destruction, the darker side of Old Testament history. Could we then respond to each line, "For his mercy endures forever"? I feel that we should be able to, although it would admittedly be much harder, that we should try and see the purpose of God continuing through the darker times. And then how about another kind of extension to this psalm? How about each of us were to write our own verses to add on, our own story of God's providential love and salvation, our own difficulties and problems, tragedies even? Could we then respond to each line, "For his mercy endures forever"? That brings the challenge very, very much closer to home. And we live in times when we might well feel that the last thing going on is mercy. Do you know that hymn, "Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father"? You can find the words online if you don't have a hymn book handy. It celebrates God's mercy, aka faithfulness, over all of life. But it doesn't claim that God keeps life sunny and happy for us. The mercy and faithfulness operate at a much deeper level. Here's my favourite verse. "Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow, blessings all mine with 10,000 beside." The words of that hymn make a very good prayer, and I do pray indeed that you will know his own dear presence to cheer and guide you today, for his mercy endures forever.